It feels like a regular game to me. It don't feel no different. It's just the hooping and hollering about the Cleveland Browns. I was about to call them the Elves, but...
The NFL script couldn't have started any better for the Cleveland Browns. But I'm not even sure they thought it would be as easy as it was. This defense was obviously huge, only allowing the Bengals to score 3 points. But once we take a deeper dive into those numbers, we'll see just how good this defense really was. The Browns held Burrow to a career worst 82 yards, which he was 14 of 31. And this defensive front was getting after him all day as they finished with 10 quarterback hits, while also forcing Cincinnati to punt on 10 out of 14 possessions, as well as only allowing 6 first downs all game. Dominant is the word that comes to mind. Which brings me to my last and most important stat. The Bengals were 2 for 14 on third downs with Burrow in the game. And as we all know, getting off the field in third down situations is pivotal to winning games in the NFL. But it becomes even more pivotal when you're facing one of those AFC quarterbacks like Joe Burrow. And that's where I want to start at today, is this team's third down defense. Of course, we remember this play where Myles Garrett is out there dribbling pre-snap, but what's really impressive is the fact that he's the one who gets pressure up the middle and forces Joe Burrow to step up into the sack. And on this third down, it's mano a mano, one-on-one across the board, and both teams are okay with these matchups. You have your best corner matched up with their best deep ball threat. And Denzel Ward won this round, and the Bengals walked away empty-handed. And then here, there are a few things to look at on this play. One is Myles Garrett's stance. He's in the A-gap and he ends up rushing, but he never actually gets into his three-point stance. But number two is the excellent complementary defense being played here. Right now you can see Burrow feels like he needs to get rid of this ball. But if you look downfield, there's nobody open. So he's forced to just chuck this ball towards the sideline. That's 3 third downs that we've looked at, and the Bengals haven't even been close to picking up one of them. Zadarius Smith and this defensive line proved their importance by helping take some of the load off of Myles Garrett. And the Browns were able to play with the lead for the entire game, which suits their play style. It forces the opposing team to pass, which then lets their D-line get after it. But playing with the lead is ideal for their offense as well, as it keeps the run game and Nick Chubb alive, as well as utilizing their play action and consistently picking up 10 to 12 yards. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's look at a couple more defensive plays. This third down led to a missed field goal, but this is a long developing play. You fake the bubble screen out to Chase to try and get the defenders to bite, and then you try to come back over the top with a deep ball. And the play actually works. You see the 2 defenders bite on Chase, and that frees up Tyler Boyd. But what you also see is the fact that Joe Burrow is no longer looking downfield since there's pressure in his face. And again, he just winds up chucking this into the third row. And of course, the one that put the game away, Myles Garrett is able to beat this tackle fairly quick, and he just plows through this running back's attempted chip block to get his first sack of the season. But as I mentioned earlier, this defense's dominating performance wasn't just a plus for them. It also helped this offense mightily, as they never had to force the ball downfield or do things out of their nature. This Browns team has probably been the most overlooked team in the AFC North, and that's shocking considering the Steelers are in the same division. But yes, even behind Pittsburgh. But I think Deshaun Watson only playing 6 games and not looking the absolute best in those games gave people the wrong perception of this team. And they should be in the running for one of the most complete teams in the NFL if they can keep this level of play up. They won 24-3, and this offense could have easily had even more points. They fumbled early in the red zone, and Deshaun Watson had a pass that was tipped and then eventually intercepted, as well as other drives that just stalled out and only resulted in 3 points. So 24 was just the tip of the iceberg. Deshaun missed some throws early, but as the game continued, he got better and better. He finished with 154 passing yards, with another 45 yards on the ground and 1 passing touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown as well. Execution, execution, execution. That had to be the word of the week for this Browns offense, and this play represents that. It's really a great play call as they send quads to the right, and you can see that this defense is unbalanced since they have so many players over to that side. But now the Browns have them exactly where they want them, and they just need to make 2 blocks and Deshaun Watson's in the end zone untouched. And you know it's a great day when you're checking all 3 boxes. Great play calling, great pass protection, and great route running. That's 3 for 3 on just one play. This Browns offense showed up and showed us a thing or two that we maybe didn't know about them. But the one part of this offense we're all familiar with is still in prime form. Nick Chubb is still the Browns' best offensive weapon. He finished the season opener with 106 rushing yards at 5.9 yards per carry. Chubb had 5 rushes of 10 yards or more this game, and that led all running backs in week 1. And if you like what Nick Chubb and this offensive line did in week 1, be sure to check out my previous video over the game's best running back, Nick Chubb. It's very early in the season, but that doesn't matter. In week 1, this Browns team showed the potential they have, and they hope to take that potential into Pittsburgh next week on Monday Night Football. Considering the 2 vastly different games these teams are coming off of, I expect the Browns to have another dominating performance against this struggling team. And I'm not sure how the scriptwriters see it, but I see this Browns team as a force to be reckoned with. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check this video out, which is all about another great defense in the AFC. Peace.
It's frustrating because I called their ass elves and we just lost to some elves, so I'm pissed on my part. I'm pissed on that. And like I said, man, we got missed opportunities. We didn't capitalize on that shit, and we lost. So that's how we lost.